I almost signed without understanding a thing, until the cleaner's daughter barged into the room and screamed. Michael Reynolds trembled as he held the pen while the lawyer slid the papers across the dark wooden desk in his office. The headache that had plagued him for weeks grew worse by the minute, completely clouding his judgment and making the letters dance before his tired eyes. That's when the door burst open, and Lily, the young daughter of the cleaner, desperately shouted that those papers would take away the homes of all the company's employees. "Don't sign that, Mr. Michael," the 9-year-old girl yelled, her curly hair bouncing as she ran toward the desk. Mr. Wilson, the lawyer who had served the family for over 10 years, immediately stood from his chair, trying to block the child's path. "Lily, what are you doing here? This is a private meeting," he said, his voice attempting to sound gentle, but carrying poorly concealed irritation. "My mom sent me to get the cloth she forgot yesterday, but I heard you talking on the phone," Lily replied, breathless. "You said you were going to trick the sick boss and that afterward all of us would have to leave the company." Michael, who until then had been lost in a fog of confusion, felt something inside him awaken. He tried to focus his gaze on the girl, who looked like a little warrior determined to protect him. "Lily, you must have misunderstood," Mr. Wilson said, stepping toward her with outstretched hands. "Go back to your mother, please. Your boss and I are handling very important matters." "I didn't misunderstand." Lily dodged the lawyer's hands and ran to Michael. "Mr. Michael, you have that strange look on your face again. Is it because of the new medicine you started taking?" Michael blinked several times, trying to process the girl's words. It was true. Ever since he began taking the new medication prescribed by Dr. Williams, his personal doctor, he had felt constantly confused and drowsy. "Lily, enough!" Mr. Wilson lost his patience. "Michael, I need you to sign these documents now. They're urgent contracts that can't wait." The girl positioned herself between Michael and the lawyer, crossing her thin arms. "My mom always taught me to be suspicious when someone wants us to sign something too quickly," she said, staring straight at Mr. Wilson. "And you're trying to get Mr. Michael to sign without even properly explaining what's written." Michael tried to pick up the papers to read them, but the letters remained blurry. A strange feeling grew in his chest, a mix of alarm and the realization that something was very wrong. I can't see properly," he murmured, wiping his sweaty forehead. "Of course you can't," Lily exclaimed. "My mum said when we're not well, we shouldn't make any big decisions." Mr. Wilson took a deep breath, clearly irritated by the interruption but trying to keep his composure. "Michael, you've trusted me for years. These documents are to protect your assets. You know your late wife, God rest her soul, always wanted you to take good care of the business." At the mention of his late wife, Sarah, Michael felt a pang in his heart. Sarah had passed 2 years ago, taken by an illness that slowly consumed her, and since then he had felt lost in the business he once managed with ease. "Don't talk about my godmother, Sarah," Lily suddenly shouted, surprising everyone. "She always said you were like a father to all of us here at the company. She'd be so sad if she knew someone was trying to hurt you." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing. Michael looked at Lily with new eyes. It was true that Sarah had a special fondness for Gloria's family, the cleaning lady who had worked at the company for over 20 years. When Lily was born, Sarah offered to be the girl's godmother, and often the child spent afternoons in the office while Gloria worked. "Did Lily know Mrs. Sarah?" Mr. Wilson asked, trying to use this to his advantage. "Then she knows Mrs. Sarah trusted me to look after her husband's interests." "That's a lie," Lily shot back with a determination that impressed Michael. "My mom told me Mrs. Sarah left hidden letters, warning about people who just wanted to take advantage of Mr. Michael when he was alone." Michael's heart raced. Sarah really did have a habit of writing letters, especially in her last months when she knew her time was running out. He had never found those specific letters, but always suspected she had left some guidance. "What letters are these?" he asked, his voice firmer now. Mr. Wilson shifted uncomfortably in his chair. "Michael, you're letting a 9-year-old interfere with important business decisions," he said. "These are childish fantasies." "They're not fantasies," Lily protested. "My mom has the letters. Mrs. Sarah asked her to keep them safe until you were ready to read them. Michael felt as if a fog were lifting from his mind. For the first time in weeks, he could think clearly. Gloria never told me anything about letters, because Mrs. Sarah asked my mum to wait. She said there would come a time when you'd need the letters, and my mom would know when that time came, Lily explained. And my mom says that time is now, because you're so confused with this new medicine. Mr. Wilson stood abruptly. Enough of this charade. Michael, you need to sign these papers now. We have deadlines and I can't let a child interfere with important contracts. And why are you in such a hurry? Lily asked, staring straight at the lawyer. If it's so important, you can explain everything properly so Mr. Michael understands. Michael looked at the papers in his hands. Even with his blurred vision, he could see they were full of small print. What exactly am I signing? He asked. Company restructuring documents, consulting contracts, power of attorney. Things needed to modernize the business, Mr. Wilson answered vaguely. Power of attorney for what? Michael pressed. So, I can make quick decisions in your name when you're not in a position, when you're traveling or busy. Lily narrowed her eyes, a gesture that reminded Michael of Sarah when she suspected something. You haven't traveled in over a year, she said, and my mum cleans this office every day. You're always here. The girl's observation made Michael think. It was true. Since Sarah passed, he rarely left the company, burying himself in work to cope with his grief. Lily, where's your mum? He asked. She's finishing cleaning downstairs. Do you want me to get her? Yes, please, Mr. Wilson tried to intervene. Michael, this isn't necessary. We're wasting valuable time. We're not wasting any time, Michael replied, feeling an inner strength he hadn't felt in months. If these contracts are so important, a few more minutes won't make a difference. Lily ran off to get her mother, leaving Michael alone with Mr. Wilson. The lawyer was visibly nervous, shuffling the papers and glancing at the clock constantly. Michael, you're letting a child influence important business decisions, he said. That's not like you. What's like me is trusting the people who truly care about me, Michael replied. And Lily and Gloria have been with this company for years. They're part of my family. Gloria entered the room a few minutes later, followed by Lily. She was a woman around 50, with graying hair tied in a simple bun and kind eyes that showed the wisdom of years of hard work. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson, she greeted politely. But Michael noticed tension in her voice. Gloria, Michael called softly. Lily told me Sarah left some letters with you. Gloria looked at her daughter, then at Mr. Wilson, and finally at Michael. Her expression showed an inner conflict, as if she were making a difficult decision. It's true, Mr. Michael, she finally said. Mrs. Sarah gave me a sealed envelope shortly before she passed. She told me to keep it until the right moment came. And when would that moment be? Mr. Wilson asked, unable to hide his irritation. When my boss was being deceived by someone he trusted, Gloria replied, looking straight at the lawyer. A heavy silence fell over the room. Michael felt his heart race. Did you bring the letters? I've carried them with me ever since Mrs. Sarah died, Gloria said, pulling a yellowed envelope from her bag. She made me promise I'd protect you when she couldn't anymore. Mr. Wilson took a step forward. This is ridiculous. You're inventing a conspiracy based on a sick woman's paranoia. My wife was ill, but her mind was perfectly clear, Michael said, taking the envelope from Gloria's hands. Sarah was always very sharp at judging people. When Michael opened the envelope, he found 3 handwritten letters in Sarah's delicate script. The first was marked, "Read first," and the others had specific instructions on when they should be opened. With trembling hands, he unfolded the first letter. My dearest Michael, if you're reading this, it means Gloria has realized someone is trying to take advantage of you. I hope I'm wrong, but my heart tells me that when I'm gone, people who call themselves friends will try to exploit your grief and confusion. Always trust Gloria and Lily. They're the family God gave us, even without blood ties. If anyone tries to make you sign important documents when you're not well, stop everything and seek a second opinion. Don't trust quick decisions or people who try to isolate you from the long-time employees. Our company has always been a family, and family doesn't abandon family. With all my eternal love, Sarah. Michael felt tears streaming down his face. It was as if Sarah were there, warning him about the dangers she had foreseen. This proves nothing, Mr. Wilson stammered. Just the worries of a concerned wife. Lily, Michael called to the girl standing beside her mother. You said you heard Mr. Wilson on the phone. Can you tell me exactly what you heard? Lily looked at her mother, who nodded encouragingly. I was coming down the stairs when I heard Mr. Wilson talking loudly on the phone. He said today he'd get you to sign the papers, and after that it would be easy to fire all the long-time employees and sell the land. Mr. Wilson turned pale. That's a child's imagination. He also said, Doctor, Williams was doing a good job with the medication, making you confused enough not to ask questions, Lily continued, and that when it was all over, he'd take half of everything. Michael felt as if he'd been punched in the gut. Dr. Williams had been his doctor for only 6 months, recommended by Mr. Wilson himself when Michael began experiencing symptoms of depression after losing Sarah. Gloria, he said, his voice trembling. Have you noticed any changes in my behavior since I started treatment with Dr. Williams? I have, Mr. Michael, she replied sadly. You've always been attentive and decisive, but these past few weeks, it's like you were in another world. Lily also mentioned to me that you've been acting very strange. The other letters, Michael murmured. I need to read the other letters. He opened the second letter marked, If you suspect the doctor. Michael, if you're reading this, your suspicions about your doctor may be correct. Remember, when we're sick, our judgment can be impaired, especially with certain medications. Go see Dr. Jonathan Miller immediately, the doctor who treated me during my illness. He knows your medical history and can assess whether your current medication is appropriate. Don't make any major decisions until you're certain your mind is clear. Dr. Jonathan's number is in my address book in the bottom drawer of my dresser. With love and concern, Sarah. Mr. Wilson was visibly nervous, shifting in his chair and glancing repeatedly at the door. Michael, you can't trust letters written by someone in their final days. Sarah was on heavy pain medication. That could have clouded her judgment. My wife was of sound mind until her last day, Michael replied firmly, and she knew you far longer than I did. She was always an excellent judge of character. Lily stepped closer to the table and pointed at the papers. Mr. Michael, may I see those? My mother taught me to read important documents, so we wouldn't be fooled. Mr. Wilson tried to gather the papers. This is no matter for children. If it's no matter for children, then it's also no matter for someone whose mind is clouded by medication, Lily countered with impressive logic. Michael held onto the papers, preventing Mr. Wilson from taking them. Lily, please read the first page aloud. The girl took the first document and began reading in her clear, young voice. Irrevocable power of attorney, granting Mr. Wilson full authority over all administrative, financial, and operational decisions of Reynolds Construction LLC, including asset sales, employee terminations, and contractual changes. Michael felt his blood run cold. An irrevocable power of attorney meant he would lose complete control of his own company. Keep reading, he urged, his voice tense. The grantor, Michael Reynolds, declares himself mentally unfit to make decisions due to mental health issues and permanently delegates all authority to the grantee, Lily continued, her voice growing more worried with each word. Mental health issues, Michael repeated, feeling anger rise within him. I never said I had mental health issues. Mr. Wilson made one last attempt. Michael, you've been depressed and confused. It's all documented in your medical reports. I'm only trying to protect you and your company from poor decisions you might make in this state. Protect him from whom? Gloria asked. Mr. Michael has always been a fair and honest boss. In 20 years, he's never made a bad decision. Mom, Lily tugged at her mother's sleeve. There's more written here in tiny letters at the bottom. Please read it, Michael requested. Lily squinted and read slowly. In the event of a full or partial sale of the company, 50% of the proceeds shall be allocated to Mr. Wilson as payment for consulting and administrative services. The silence that followed was deafening. Michael felt as if the ground had vanished beneath his feet. 50%? He repeated, incredulous. You were going to take half of my company? Mr. Wilson stood abruptly, trying to grab the papers. These contracts are out of context. There are detailed explanations justifying every clause. Lily was quicker and clutched the documents to her chest. No, you're trying to steal from Mr. Michael. Gloria, Michael said with an authority he hadn't shown in months. Please call Dr. Jonathan Miller. I need an urgent medical evaluation, he added, and call the company accountant too. I want someone I trust to review these contracts. Mr. Wilson headed for the door. If you no longer trust me, I'd rather leave. But know this, you're making a mistake that could cost your company dearly. The only mistake I made was trusting you, Michael replied. And don't think about leaving yet. I want answers about Dr. Williams and these documents. Lily, who had been quiet for a moment, suddenly raised her hand. Mr. Michael, can I say something? Of course, Lily. Yesterday I saw Mr. Wilson talking to Dr. Williams at the reception. They were looking at some papers and Mr. Wilson gave money to Dr. Williams. Mr. Wilson visibly tensed. That's absurd. I was just paying for Michael's private consultation. It wasn't consultation money, Lily insisted. It was a thick envelope and they were whispering about increasing the dose of some medicine. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now back to the story. Michael felt a mix of anger and mental clarity he hadn't experienced in months. It was as if a thick fog had finally lifted. Lily, are you sure about what you saw? Yes, my mum always taught me to pay attention, because poor folks like us need to protect ourselves, she replied with the wisdom of someone who learned early to be observant. Gloria placed a proud hand on her daughter's shoulder. My girl is right, Mr. Michael. I've taught her since she was little to notice and remember important things. You never know when you'll need to defend yourself. Mr. Wilson tried a different approach, softening his tone. Michael, you're letting employees influence major business decisions. That could hurt your company in the long run. My employees are trying to protect me, Michael countered. Something my lawyer should have been doing, not conspiring against me. Gloria stepped forward, phone in hand. Mr. Michael, I reached Dr. Jonathan. He can come today to evaluate you, and the accountant is on his way too. Good, Michael said, feeling more secure by the minute. Mr. Wilson glanced at his watch and then the door, clearly weighing his options. If this is how you treat years of friendship and partnership, there's nothing more I can do, he said, feigning offense. Friendship? Lily interjected again. A real friend wouldn't cheat someone when they're sick. The girl had an uncanny ability to cut straight to the heart of complex matters. Lily's right, Michael agreed. A true friend would have encouraged me to get a second medical opinion, not make big decisions while I'm on strong medication. Mr. Wilson made one last attempt. Michael, think of Sarah's memory. She always wanted you to have financial security. These contracts guarantee that. Don't use my wife to justify your actions, Michael said, his voice firm in a way that surprised everyone. And I still have a third letter from her to read. He opened the last envelope marked, If they try to use my memory against you. My love, if someone is trying to use my memory or my words to convince you to do something that doesn't feel right, know that I would never ask you to blindly trust anyone. I've always valued our company because it represents family, not just business. All the long-time employees are like children to me, especially Gloria and Lily. If anyone tries to persuade you to distance yourself from these people or make decisions that harm our employees, you can be sure that person does not have your best interests at heart. Trust your intuition. It has always been excellent. And trust the people who show you genuine love, not just interest in your wealth. Forever yours, Sarah. When Michael finished reading, there were tears in everyone's eyes, except for Mr. Wilson, who was visibly irritated. This is emotional manipulation, he exploded. Sarah was sick and paranoid. Enough. Michael stood up, feeling an energy he hadn't had in months. You just proved Sarah was right. Someone who truly cared about me would never speak that way about my late wife. Lily clapped her hands. Yes, my godmother Sarah was always so clever. Mr. Wilson realized he had lost control of the situation. Fine, but without my help, you'll find out just how hard it is to run a company alone, especially with your mental health compromised. My mental health is only compromised because of the medications your accomplice prescribed me, Michael replied. And as for running the company alone, I've never been alone. I've always had a family here that you tried to make me ignore. Gloria stepped forward with determination. Mr. Michael, may I suggest something? How about from now on, all major decisions are discussed with the long-time employees? We know this company almost as well as you do. That's an excellent idea, Michael agreed. And Lily, would you like to keep helping me read important documents? It seems you have a natural talent for spotting tricks. The girl beamed. Yes, my mom always said I'd work in an office one day. Mr. Wilson headed for the door, clearly defeated. You'll regret this. Without my legal guidance, this company will go bankrupt. I'd rather go bankrupt honestly than be robbed by someone I trusted, Michael replied. When Mr. Wilson left, slamming the door, a comforting silence settled in the room. Michael looked at Gloria and Lily, realizing for the first time in months that he wasn't alone. Gloria, can I ask you a personal question? Of course, Mr. Michael. Why didn't you ever give me the letters before, even when you saw I was getting more and more confused? Gloria sighed and sat in the chair across from the desk. Because Mrs. Sarah told me to wait until it was truly necessary. She said if I gave you the letters too soon, you might think you were being paranoid or overly suspicious. And how did you know it was the right time? When Lily told me what she overheard Mr. Wilson saying on the phone, she answered, and especially when I saw him trying to make you sign papers you couldn't even read properly. Lily, who had been flipping through the nearly signed documents, suddenly looked up. Mr. Michael, there's something strange here. The date on these papers is from 3 months ago. What do you mean? Look here, she pointed to the header of one document. It says it was made in March, but it's June now. Michael took the papers, and even with his vision still slightly blurry, confirmed Lily's observation. This means Mr. Wilson had been planning this for a long time, he murmured. Probably since he started referring me to Dr. Williams. Mr. Michael, Gloria said hesitantly, can I tell you something I never had the courage to say before? Please, in Mrs. Sarah's last months, she often told me she was worried about Mr. Wilson. She thought he was too interested in the company's business, asking questions about profits and assets that weren't his concern. Why didn't she ever tell me this? Because she didn't want to worry you when you were already going through so much pain with her illness, Gloria explained. But she made me promise that after she was gone, I'd keep an eye out and protect you. Michael felt a wave of emotion as he realized how much Sarah had cared for him until the end. And you kept your promise, he said, his voice choked. We both did, Gloria corrected, looking proudly at Lily. My daughter was brave today. Lily blushed but kept her determined posture. I just did what my godmother Sarah would have done. She always stood up for the people she loved. The phone rang, interrupting the emotional moment. Gloria answered, and after a few minutes of conversation, she hung up with a worried expression. That was Dr. Jonathan. He's on his way here, but he said we need to preserve samples of the medicine you're taking. There might be something in them that shouldn't be there. Michael immediately opened the desk drawer and took out the medicine bottles. Lily, can you help me read the labels? My vision is still blurry. The girl picked up the first bottle. This one's for sleep. Flurazepam, 15 milligrams. And this one, lorazepam, 5 milligrams for anxiety. And the last one, Lily struggled to read, risperidone, 2 milligrams. Michael wasn't a medicine expert, but it seemed strange to be taking 3 different kinds of sedatives at once. Gloria, can you keep these bottles safe until Dr. Jonathan arrives? I want him to check the medication. Of course, she said, wrapping the bottles in a clean cloth. Lily kept examining the documents, her childlike curiosity uncovering details that might have gone unnoticed. Mr. Michael, there's a paper here about selling land. Do you have land to sell? What land? He asked, trying to focus. It says here, land in the Riverside neighborhood, land on Maple Street, and land on Main Avenue. Michael strained to think. Those were properties Sarah had inherited from her family, and they had planned to use them to build a daycare for employees' children. That land can't be sold, he said, alarmed. Sarah wanted to turn it into a daycare for the community. Daycare? Lily asked excitedly. Your godmother Sarah always dreamed of building a place where working mothers could leave their children safely, Gloria explained. It was one of her dearest projects. And Mr. Wilson was going to sell it all? Lily asked, outraged. From what's written here, yes, Michael confirmed, feeling anger rise again. Lily started doing calculations in her head, wiggling her fingers. If he was going to take 50% of everything, and that land is worth a lot of money, he'd make a fortune selling godmother Sarah's dream. The simplicity with which the girl laid out the situation made Michael realize the scale of the betrayal he had nearly suffered. Lily, how did you learn to read documents so well? My mom always takes me when she has to sign something, like a lease or bank papers. She says poor women need to know how to defend themselves. And I always explain to her that educated people might try to take advantage of simple folks, Gloria added. That's why I teach her to read everything carefully and ask questions. You two saved me today, Michael said, moved. If I had signed those papers... But you didn't, Lily interrupted with a smile. And now we're going to build godmother Sarah's daycare. The girl's determination was contagious. For the first time since losing Sarah, Michael felt a renewed sense of purpose. You're right. We are going to build that daycare. Gloria discreetly wiped away a tear. Mrs. Sarah would be so happy knowing her dream is coming true. The company's accountant arrived an hour later, followed shortly by Dr. Jonathan. Both confirmed their suspicions. The contracts were harmful to Michael, and the medication he had been taking was excessive and unsuitable for his actual health condition. Michael, Dr. Jonathan said after reviewing the medications and running some tests, you were being sedated unnecessarily. These drugs in this combination and dosage can cause mental confusion, short-term memory loss, and difficulty concentrating. Was this intentional? Without examining Dr. Williams personally, I can't say for certain, but the prescription is highly questionable for someone with your health history. Lily, who had stayed quiet during the examination, approached Dr. Jonathan. Doctor, how long will it take for Mr. Michael to feel normal again? Doctor. Jonathan smiled at the girl. If we stop these medications today and start proper treatment, he should feel much better in a week. And will he be able to read the documents by himself? Yes, he will, little one. Lily clapped her hands, beaming. Then next week we can start planning the daycare. Her positive energy was infectious to everyone. Michael felt hope rekindle in his heart. Over the following weeks, as the improper medication left his system, Michael gradually regained his mental clarity and energy. Lily, who had become his unofficial assistant for reviewing important documents, was always present during key decisions. Mr. Wilson tried reaching out a few times, claiming there had been misunderstandings, but Michael, advised by Dr. Jonathan and supported by his employees, stood firm in his decision to sever all professional ties with the lawyer. The investigation into Dr. Williams revealed he had lost his medical license in another state for improper prescriptions and was practicing irregularly in their current state. The case was reported to the authorities. Mr. Michael, Lily said one morning, entering the office with a folder in hand. I brought the drawings I made for the daycare. Michael looked at the colored pencil sketches and felt his heart warm. Lily had drawn children playing in a vibrant park with a sign that read, Sarah's Godmother Daycare. It's beautiful, Lily. Your godmother would be proud. Can I help pick the colors when they start painting? Of course you can. In fact, I want you and your mother involved in every decision about the daycare. Gloria walked in just then, carrying a tray with coffee. Mr. Michael, may I make a suggestion about the daycare? Always, he replied, motioning for her to sit. What if we started by offering the service to company employees first? That way we can test how everything works before opening it to the whole community. That's an excellent idea, Michael agreed. And who do you think should run the daycare? Gloria and Lily exchanged glances. Actually, Gloria said hesitantly, Lily and I talked about this. I've always wanted to work with children, but never had the chance to study for it. How about if the company pays for your education? Michael suggested. You could take courses in administration and early childhood education, and when the daycare is ready, you'll be the director. Gloria's jaw dropped. I don't know what to say. Say you accept, Lily exclaimed, jumping for joy. That way, I can help my mum at the daycare and learn even more things. Lily, Michael said, looking seriously at the girl, you didn't just save my company, you probably saved my life. How can I repay you? The girl thought for a moment with the seriousness of an adult. Can I keep working here? Not for real since I'm still a kid. But can I keep helping read important papers and making sure no one tries to trick you? Michael laughed, feeling a lightness he hadn't experienced in a long time. Of course. In fact, I want to give you an official title. Lily Reynolds, Junior Corporate Protection Consultant. What's that? It means your job will be to keep an eye out for anyone trying to do something suspicious in the company and to always let me know if something doesn't seem right. Lily beamed at her new position. Can I have a desk too? You can. We'll put a little desk right there in the corner with your own papers and pencils. Gloria was too emotional to speak. Michael realized that while he had tried to protect these two special people, they had ended up protecting him too. Gloria, there's something I need to tell you. Yes, Mr. Michael? Sarah left instructions about the two of you in her will. I never read it carefully because I was too sad, but yesterday I went through it again. He opened a drawer and pulled out a document. She left a sum of money specifically for Lily's education, from elementary school all the way through college. That can't be true, Gloria murmured. It is. And she left a special letter about it, Michael continued, taking out another envelope. May I read it? Gloria nodded, too moved to speak. Gloria, you've been like a sister to me all these years. Lily is like the daughter I never had. Please accept this help to make sure she has every opportunity to study and grow. I know that with your guidance and love, she'll become an extraordinary woman. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. Lily, who had been playing with her pencils, looked up when she heard her name. Godmother Sarah really thought about me even when she was sick. She did, little one, Michael confirmed. She wanted to make sure you'd have the chance to study and achieve all your dreams. Can I study to be a lawyer? Lily suddenly asked. Why a lawyer? To protect people like you from bad lawyers like Mr. Wilson. The girl's answer touched Michael deeply. It was amazing how, at just 9 years old, she already had such a strong sense of justice. You can study whatever you want, Lily, and when you become a lawyer, you'll always be welcome here at the company. Promise? Promise. The months that followed were a time of rebuilding and renewal. Sarah's godmother daycare opened 6 months later, with Gloria already enrolled in her teaching course. Lily, who had become the company's unofficial mascot, continued her role as protection consultant, always alert to anything suspicious. Michael fully regained his mental and physical health, developing a new perspective on the importance of simple, genuine people in his life. The company thrived even more, now run in a more collaborative way, with long-time employees having a say in important decisions. One day, nearly a year after the incident with Mr. Wilson, Lily walked into the office with a worried expression. Mr. Michael, there's a man downstairs who says he's the company's new lawyer, but I didn't know you hired a new lawyer. Michael stopped what he was doing. That was exactly the kind of vigilance he had asked Lily to keep. I didn't hire any new lawyer. How is he dressed? Grey suit, black briefcase, and he was asking the receptionist about the daycare's land. The daycare's land? Yeah. He asked if it really belonged to the company or if there were any legal issues. Michael felt a chill. There was something familiar about this situation. Lily, where's your mother? She's at the daycare organizing the children's materials. Go get her, please, and tell her to bring the key to the room where we keep the important documents. Lily rushed off, and Michael reflected on the situation. Since the incident with Mr. Wilson, he had established a protocol. No lawyer or consultant would be received without a prior appointment and without at least 2 trusted people present. Gloria arrived a few minutes later, accompanied by Lily. Mr. Michael, Lily told me about the man downstairs. Did you schedule any meeting today? No. And that's exactly why I'm suspicious. Do you want me to ask him to leave? Not yet. First, I want to know who he is and what he really wants. But I want both of you present during the entire conversation." "Agreed," Gloria nodded. Lily raised her hand like she did in school. "Can I suggest something?" "Of course." "What if we recorded the conversation? That way, if he lies later, we'll have proof." Michael smiled. The girl kept showing impressive wisdom for her age. "Great idea, Lily. Gloria, can you set up the recording on your phone?" "I sure can." "And Lily, I want you to pay close attention to everything he says, especially if he asks about documents or properties. Don't worry, Mr. Michael. No one's going to fool us again." The man who introduced himself as Mr. James Patterson was tall, elegant, and spoke with great confidence. Michael immediately noticed some similarities to Mr. Wilson's behavior. "Mr. Michael, I'm here to offer my legal services for your company. I heard you had some trouble with your previous lawyer." "How did you hear about that?" Michael asked, already on alert. "It's a small town. News travels fast," Mr. James replied vaguely. "But I'm here to offer a more modern and efficient service." Lily, who was sitting at her little table in the corner, lifted her head when she heard the word efficient. "What exactly do you consider efficient?" Michael asked. "Well, for example, I see you have some land that could be put to better use. The real estate market is booming. It would be an excellent investment opportunity." Gloria and Michael exchanged glances. That was exactly what Mr. Wilson had tried to do. "What land?" Michael asked, pretending interest. "The land in the Riverside neighborhood on Maple Street and Main Avenue. They're valuable properties that could bring an excellent financial return." Lily stopped drawing and focused entirely on the conversation. Those were the exact same properties Mr. Wilson had tried to include in the fraudulent contract. "How did you know about these specific properties?" Gloria asked. Mr. James hesitated for a moment. "Like I said, it's a small town. Information about properties is easy to come by." "And who specifically gave you this information?" Michael pressed. "That's irrelevant. What matters is that I can help you maximize your profits." Lily stood up and walked closer to the main table. "Mr. Michael, can I ask the doctor a question?" Mr. James looked at the girl with a condescending expression. "Of course, little one." "Do you know Mr. Robert Wilson?" The child's direct question caught Mr. James off guard. He visibly hesitated before answering. "No, not personally. Why do you ask?" "Because he also knew about those lots and wanted to sell them to make money," Lily replied with her characteristic honesty. Dr. James began to look visibly uncomfortable. "Well, those lots are known in the real estate market. Many professionals are aware of them." "Funny," Gloria remarked. "Those lots aren't even for sale, and they're not listed anywhere as available." "And there's more," Lily added. "Those lots are going to become Sarah's godmother daycare. They can't be sold." Dr. James tried to keep his composure, but it was clear he hadn't expected this level of questioning. "Well, perhaps I was mistaken about which lots they were. I can offer other types of legal consulting." "What kind of consulting?" Michael asked, curious to see how far the man would go. "Contract reviews for employees, operational cost optimization, modernization of internal policies." Lily raised her hand again. "What's operational cost optimization?" Dr. James looked annoyed at the girl. "These are complex matters for children to understand." "Then explain it simply," she insisted. Michael was impressed by Lily's persistence. She was asking questions he'd wanted to ask himself, but without sounding suspicious. "It means cutting unnecessary costs," Dr. James reluctantly explained. "What kind of costs?" Lily pressed. "Well, excessive salaries, unnecessary employee benefits." Gloria leaned forward. "Are you suggesting Mr. Michael fire employees or cut benefits?" "I'm suggesting a professional analysis to maximize efficiency," Dr. James replied defensively. Lily looked at Michael with an expression he'd learned to recognize, the same one she'd had when she uncovered Dr. Roberts' fraud. "Mr. Michael," she said, "can I talk to you privately?" "Of course, Lily." They stepped aside, and Lily whispered, "He's talking just like Dr. Robert. He wants to sell land, wants to fire people, and he didn't explain properly how he knows these things." Michael looked at the girl with growing admiration. She'd pinpointed the exact same patterns he'd noticed. "What do you think we should do?" Ask if he knows Dr. Williams. Lily's suggestion was brilliant. If Dr. James knew Dr. Williams, it would confirm a possible connection to Dr. Robert. They returned to the table, and Michael asked, "Dr. James, do you happen to know Dr. Williams? He's a doctor here in town." Dr. James's reaction was immediate. He paled and began to stammer. "Dr. Williams? No, not that I recall." "How strange," Lily commented innocently, "because when you arrived I saw you greeting someone in the parking lot who looked just like Dr. Williams." Dr. James was visibly agitated now. It must have been someone else. I don't know any Dr. Williams." Gloria stood and walked to the window. "Lily, come here and see if it's the same man you saw." Lily joined her mother at the window and pointed to the parking lot. "Yes, it's him. Dr. Williams is standing right there by the blue car, looking this way." Dr. James abruptly stood up. "I need to leave. I have another appointment." "But we haven't finished talking," Michael said, subtly blocking the path to the door. "There's nothing left to discuss. I see you're not interested in modernizing the company." Lily stepped in front of Dr. James. "You still haven't answered how you know about the lots that aren't for sale." "That's none of your business, girl." The sharpness in Dr. James's voice was a mistake. Michael immediately moved protectively in front of Lily. "No one talks to her like that in my company," he said with an authority that made Dr. James step back. "Sorry, I'm in a hurry." "Gloria," Michael called, "please call reception and tell them not to let Dr. Williams into the building." Dr. James tried to leave quickly, but Lily still had one last question. "Are you going to tell Mr. Wilson that we didn't fall for his trick again?" The question was like a bomb. Dr. James stopped at the door and turned around, anger in his eyes. "You're too clever for your own good," he said before hurrying out. As soon as Dr. James left, Michael sank heavily into his chair. "Lily, how did you know to ask all the right questions?" "My mom always taught me that when someone wants something from you too fast, they're hiding something," she replied. "And he was just like Mr. Wilson, talking about selling land, firing employees, and knowing things he shouldn't." Gloria was amazed by her daughter. "Sweetheart, you're turning into quite the little detective." "I'm not a detective, I just pay attention to things, like you taught me." Michael thought over what had happened. It was clear Mr. Wilson was trying a new approach, using a colleague to get what he failed to the first time. "Gloria, can you call our new lawyer and tell him what happened today?" "Of course. And I'll ask him to check if there's a Dr. James Patterson registered as a lawyer in the city." Lily was reviewing notes she'd taken during the conversation. "Mr. Michael, I wrote down everything he said about the land. Want to see?" Michael took the paper and was impressed. Lily had recorded not just Dr. James's exact words, but also his reactions and expressions. "Lily, this is excellent work. You noticed things even I missed." "Well, when you're suspicious, you have to pay attention to everything. My mom taught me that." "And you taught her well," Gloria said, hugging her daughter. "You know what else stood out to me?" Lily continued. "He knew the names of the properties exactly like Mr. Wilson did. That wasn't a coincidence." Lily's observation confirmed Michael's suspicion. Mr. Wilson had shared detailed company information with Dr. James, likely planning a second fraud attempt. "You two saved the company again," Michael said, moved. "We'll always protect you," Lily declared firmly. "It's our job." "And my job is to protect you too," Michael replied. "We're family." Gloria smiled, remembering Sarah's words about chosen family sometimes being stronger than blood. "Mr. Michael, can I make a suggestion to keep this from happening again? Always. How about we create a system where anyone who wants to do business with the company first has to meet with you, me, and Lily? That way we'll always have 3 opinions on people." "That's a brilliant idea," Michael agreed. "And Lily can ask her special questions. She always uncovers the important stuff." Lily beamed at the praise. "Can I get business cards that say, Lily Reynolds, Suspicious People Detector?" Michael laughed. "Absolutely. In fact, I think you deserve a promotion. How about Lily Reynolds, Family Security Director?" "What does a Family Security Director do?" "Protects the company family from people who want to hurt us." Lily considered the title for a moment. "I like it. Can I start tomorrow?" You started a long time ago, Michael replied. We're just making it official. That night, after Gloria and Lily had left, Michael sat alone in his office, reflecting on the events of the past few months. He picked up the photo of Sarah he kept on his desk and whispered softly, "Thank you, my love, for foreseeing all of this. Thank you for placing these special people in my path. They saved me in ways even you couldn't have imagined." He looked out the window toward the lot, where Sarah's godmother daycare was being built. The construction was nearly complete, and soon children like Lily would be playing there, safe and protected, while their mothers worked. This was how Sarah would have wanted it, a company that functioned like one big family, where everyone looked out for each other, where honesty and kindness mattered more than just profit. Michael smiled, feeling a peace he hadn't known in a long time. For the first time since losing Sarah, he felt whole again, not because the pain of loss had faded, but because he had found a new way to honor her memory, by creating a legacy of mutual protection and family love that went far beyond blood ties. The next day, Lily arrived early with a new folder and a badge she had made herself, which read, "Lily Reynolds, Director of Family Safety." Gloria smiled at her daughter's determination. "Good morning, Director Michael," Lily said formally. "I've come to deliver my first official report." "Report?" "Yes. Last night, my mom and I talked about everything that happened, and I made a list of suspicious things we need to watch out for." Michael took the paper Lily handed him. It was written in a child's careful handwriting, but the content was surprisingly mature. Suspicious things to watch for. 1. People who know things they shouldn't. 2. People who want quick decisions. 3. People who speak badly about long-time employees. 4. People who want to sell the daycare's land. 5. People who don't like explaining things properly. 6. People who get nervous when questioned. 7. People who know Mr. Wilson or Dr. Williams. "Lily, this is an excellent list," Michael said, genuinely impressed. "We can use this as a guide to evaluate anyone who wants to do business with us." "And there's one more thing," Lily added. "My mom suggested we always ask people to write their proposals down, so they can't change their minds later." "Very smart," Michael agreed. "Gloria, where did you learn these strategies?" "From life, Mr. Michael," she replied simply. "When you're poor, you learn early how to protect yourself from people who want to take advantage. And now those lessons are protecting my company," Michael observed. "Sarah was right when she said you two were God's gifts in my life." Lily blushed at the praise but kept her professional demeanor. "Mr. Michael, can I ask you something about the daycare?" "Of course." "When it's finished, will mothers be able to leave their children there and feel at ease while they work?" "Exactly. And it won't just be for company employees." "At first, yes, but later we'll open it to the whole community." Lily thought for a moment. "Then a lot of families will be happier because mothers can work without worrying about their kids." "That's right. So Godmother Sarah will have helped so many people, even after going to heaven." The simplicity and depth of Lily's words moved Michael deeply. "Your Godmother Sarah is still helping people through the two of you," he said, "and through the daycare, she'll help families for years to come." Gloria, who had been organizing some papers, joined the conversation. "Mr. Michael, can I make a suggestion about the daycare's opening?" "Of course." "What if we threw a big celebration for the whole community? That way, people can see the place and feel welcome." "That's a wonderful idea," Michael agreed. "Lily, can you help me plan the party?" "I can. We can have cake, music, and games for the kids." "What if we held the party on Sarah's birthday?" Michael suggested. "It would be a special way to honor her." Gloria and Lily exchanged approving glances. "Mrs. Sarah would have loved that," Gloria said. "She always enjoyed parties where everyone had fun together." "Then it's settled," Michael declared. "Sarah's Godmother Daycare will open on her birthday with a big celebration for the whole community." Lily immediately started taking notes. "I need to make a list of everything we'll need for the party." "And I'll help with the arrangements," Gloria offered. "Perfect. Let's make this opening a special moment Sarah would be proud to see," Michael said. In the following months, as the final touches were put on the daycare, news of the opening spread through the community. Many working mothers expressed their gratitude in advance, knowing they'd finally have a safe, loving place to leave their children. Lily threw herself into planning the party, always supervised by Gloria and Michael. She made sure everything would be perfect, from the decorations to the children's activities. "Mr. Michael," Lily said one afternoon, 2 weeks before the opening, "can I tell you something that makes me happy?" "Of course, Lily. When I grow up and become a lawyer, I'll be able to work at the same company I helped protect when I was little." Lily's words touched Michael deeply. He realized he wasn't just witnessing the protection of his company, but also the beginning of a future professional who already showed strong values and a sense of justice. "And when that happens," Michael replied, "this company will be even stronger because it'll have a lawyer who knows every detail of its history, one who learned from childhood how to protect the people who worked here." "It's like I'll grow up alongside the company," Lily observed with her unique wisdom. "Exactly. And your mother will be the daycare director, caring for the next generation of employees' children." Gloria, who had been listening, grew emotional. "I never imagined my life could change so much," she said. "From a cleaner to a daycare director, and my daughter with a secure future in the company. The changes happened because you showed loyalty, honesty, and courage when it mattered," Michael explained. "Sarah always said the most valuable people are the ones who stand by us in tough times." Lily raised her hand thoughtfully. "Mr. Michael, can I make an important observation?" "Always. If Mr. Wilson hadn't tried to trick you, maybe we'd never have realized how much we mean to each other." The depth of Lily's reflection surprised Michael again. The girl had pinpointed something he himself was just beginning to understand. Sometimes, the hardest situations reveal life's greatest blessings. "You're right, Lily. Sometimes the bad things that happen help us see the good things that were already there. So, in a weird way, should we even thank Mr. Wilson?" Michael laughed at Lily's peculiar logic. "I wouldn't go that far, but I can say I learned some very valuable lessons from all this." "What kind of lessons?" "I learned that real family isn't about blood, but about who stands by you when you need them. I learned that sometimes the simplest people are the wisest. And I learned that a 9-year-old can be the best security consultant in the world." Lily laughed, her crystal-clear giggle echoing through the office. "And I learned that adults can be fooled too, so it's important for everyone to look out for each other." "Perfect, Lily. That's exactly how a family works." Gloria hugged her daughter proudly. "My girl, you've grown so much these past few months. It's just that when you have big responsibilities, you grow up faster," Lily replied. The opening of Sarah's Godmother Daycare was an absolute success. Hundreds of people from the community attended, including many hard-working families who would benefit from the service. During the ceremony, Michael gave an emotional speech about Sarah and her vision of a company that functioned like a family. Gloria was officially introduced as the new daycare director, receiving warm applause from everyone present. But the most special moment came when Lily, invited by Michael, stepped onto the small makeshift stage to speak. "Hi everyone," she began with childlike ease. "My name is Lily, and I work here at the company, making sure no one tries to hurt the good people." The audience laughed, charmed by the girl's seriousness. "This daycare is really special because it was Godmother Sarah's dream. She was the kindest person in the world. She wanted all mothers to be able to work peacefully, knowing their children were safe and happy." Lily paused and looked at Michael. "Mr. Michael and my mom are also really good people, and now we're all one big family that takes care of each other. And every time you bring your kids here, remember, they'll be in a place made with lots of love." The applause was long and heartfelt. Many had tears in their eyes, moved by the simplicity and sincerity of Lily's words. After the ceremony, as the children played with the daycare's new toys, Michael sat on a bench watching the lively scene. Gloria joined him, and Lily came running over shortly after. "We did it, didn't we?" Lily said, breathless but beaming. "Did what?" Michael asked. "Made Godmother Sarah's dream come true, and protected our company family from bad people, and created a place where kids will be happy. We sure did, Lily. And you know what else we did?" "What?" "We proved that when good people come together, they can overcome anything." Gloria held her daughter's hand. "And we proved that it doesn't matter if you're poor or rich, a child or an adult. What matters is having a good heart and wanting to help others." Lily looked around, watching the happy families exploring the new daycare. "Mr. Michael, can I ask you something?" "Always. Are we going to stay a family like this forever?" Michael glanced at Gloria, then at Lily, and finally at all the people gathered there, celebrating a dream that had become reality through the unity and determination of people who cared for one another. "Forever, Lily. We're a family chosen by heart, not by blood. And that kind of family is unbreakable." Lily smiled and hugged Michael and Gloria at the same time. "Then everything turned out perfect." "It sure did, my girl," Gloria confirmed. "Everything turned out perfect." And so what began as an attempt at fraud transformed into the discovery of a true family, the fulfillment of a special dream, and the creation of a legacy of love and mutual protection that would last for generations. Michael never felt alone again. Gloria realized her dream of working with children and became one of the most respected daycare directors in the area. And Lily grew up knowing there was a special place in the world where she would always be welcome, where her voice mattered, and where she could make a difference by protecting the people she loved. Sarah's Godmother Daycare became a shining example to the entire community of how dreams can come true when the right people come together for the right reasons. And Michael's company flourished even more, run with the values of family, honesty, and mutual protection that Sarah had always dreamed of. Years later, when Lily graduated from law school, her first act as a lawyer was to draft an official document stating that Sarah's Godmother Daycare could never be sold or turned into something else. It would forever remain a place of protection and care for the children of the community, ensuring that Sarah's dream lived on for all future generations. The end of the story. So, dear listeners, what did you think of this story of protection, family, and overcoming challenges? Have you ever been in situations where ordinary people made all the difference in difficult times? Share your own experiences in the comments about how you found your heart's family. And most importantly, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss other heartwarming stories that touch the soul.